welcome to Books Unbound, the podcast where we unbind books to get to their hearts with your hosts, us. It's Ariel and
Raeleen.
We are here at the beginning of May.
Oh, yeah.
Q2 is in full swing. We're in the midst of Q2. I was seeing some people I haven't seen in a long time. And they're like, hey, and like, I'd be like, hey, how are you doing? How's Q2? And they're like, Q2? I'm like, it's the second quarter of the year. I was like,
Not everyone thinks so.
Q2. And I don't even like use that for business purposes. I just kind of like the cleanliness of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's chunks. I don't think that that's going to catch on. So I'm just going to go back to asking people, how are you doing?
How is your May?
What's going on? Excitingly, as you can imagine, and as you would understand if you're a listener of the pod, it's Mashed Potato May. And we are, almost a week in. By the time you're listening to this, we're over a week in, which is exciting. And the messages are starting to roll in. We're hearing from all corners of the world as people are choosing their mashed potatoes to read this month and sharing with us how that's going. So we do encourage everyone to share, use the hashtag mashed potato May if you want to use that, or hop on the Discord. I realized last year we made the Discord public to everyone, so we should just do that again. So I'll make that public. So if you wanted to just chat with other book nerds about what you're reading this month, those chats are so much fun. The Discord for this podcast is honestly unhinged, so definitely go check that out. That'll be linked in the description. And we've pulled some comments we'll read at the end of the episode to kind of share where everyone's at. And obviously we'll also be doing a reading update for us. So we'll be sharing that as well. And before we jump in, I'm going to mention that we have a sticker and bookmark sale going on our shop. So we have a bookmark subscription. Every quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, maybe it is relevant. Every quarter, we send out a new set of bookmarks made with an awesome artist that we've worked with to create 2 beautiful bookmarks and 2 corresponding stickers. But because of the way that printing happens in this day and age, we always get some extras sent, and then they just sit in our warehouse. So we have these like variety packs. If you want to just get a bunch of random bookmarks and stickers, they're so beautiful. We've had them sitting there for a while though, so we're trying to clear them out. So we've put everything on 50% off. That's 50, everyone. That's not 15. That's 50. So super recommend that you check that out. And while you're there, you could look and see we have mashed potato pins also available still. We have a few of those left. So if you want to really, mark the season, those are the perfect items to get there. And those are our little plugs for the beginning of the show. And I'm excited to hear, Raeleen, how's your week been going?
It's been good. It's been to some non-eventful, not much has been going on, but I've been feeling really good because of a few things. So over the past week, I decided I wanted to start waking up earlier, which for me means waking up, it started at 6 o'clock. I'm trying to move towards 5:30. I want to get back to that. I used to do that back before we moved here. I used to wake up at 5:30 every day and do yoga and get myself ready for the day and then go to work. Now that I'm working from home, things have just been different, and I've been like, I don't need to wake up that early. I could still get all the stuff done that I want to get done, so why bother? But I realized that I kind of do like getting up really early, even though it's hard. I'm not good at it. It doesn't come naturally to me, but it feels really good to get up early and just start your day early, and I can put in some reading time before I even start work. I can do some cleaning to get things done in the morning that I'm usually too tired to do after work. And so that has been really fun. And Kyle and I did that over the weekend as well. So on Saturday and Sunday, we didn't wake up at 6, but we made sure to be up and out of bed by 7, which is fairly early for us for a weekend.
Early for a weekend.
Yeah. And we were like, let's just try it and see what happens. And we had the most productive weekend ever. Just in terms of okay, well, let's do a little bit of cleaning here. Let's do some running around. We went to Superstore and Costco and we're home by 10:30 in the morning. And then we were just home for the rest of the day, and it was superb. But another thing that we did, which this kind of just reminded me of a few weeks ago when you were talking about cleaning out under your bed. I was like, this is my time for that moment. Yeah. And what Kyle and I did was we cleaned our patio. Our little deck patio thing that's outside the apartment, because it's just been getting dusty and dirty and covered in snow for the past few months, and we never go out there because it's gross. And so we were like, it's a beautiful sunny day. It was 27 degrees outside, which was the first really hot day we've had since moving here. And so we were like, let's just go crazy. And so we like cleaned off our patio, scrubbed it, made it all beautiful. And so that felt really satisfying. But another thing we did was we went outside and played pass.
Nice.
like children, and it was so fun. Like we have this thing that's called an aerobie, which is kind of like a frisbee, but it's like hollow in the middle. It's just a ring, and you can throw it really far, and like it's
nice.
It's awesome. It's really cool. I highly recommend it. And so we just like threw the thing around, cleaned our deck, and then chilled. And it was great. So yeah, I didn't really get up to anything super exciting. I didn't go to the zoo, but I did have a really nice time. And that's what matters.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
Do you feel that summer has begun?
Kind of. Well, it was funny because Saturday was super sunny. And then yesterday I was like, oh, we're going to have another beautiful day. I can go sit outside on the patio that we just cleaned and read. But it was cold. Like it wasn't like really cold, but it was just cold enough that you don't want to like just sit there and do nothing.
Sit still.
Yeah, exactly. And like it sprinkled a little actually. Hello, rain. We went for a little walk and I was like, ooh, it's raining. Yay. So yeah, it did end up turning into, I mean, it's spring. Like it's not summer.
Yes.
It is like, getting a little bit of both, which I do enjoy. So I would say spring has sprung, which is why I'm wearing a gingham dress today because I'm feeling springy. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel that summer started this weekend. What do I mean by that? It's less weather related. It's more a state of mind.
I love that.
I feel like summer is a state of mind. Summer is a mode of living where you want to be outside and you can be outside more. And you're being more social and going out to things more and kind of prioritizing like, you know what? Let's go out.
Yeah.
Shed the old house, leave that behind. We're going out. We're going to the city or we're going to the lake or we're just going to go do something. I feel like that's the state of mind of summer that like I crave all year round. And I had kind of a social weekend in the city. So it felt like, and it was like the first one of the year, right? And so I was like, I feel like the gates just opened on summer, which is exciting. The other really, I'm like, I can't believe that I live in a world with this service. And I'm so excited about it. Basically, I was talking to my patrons on my Patreon, and I was telling them about like certain things and updates and things that I enjoy about spring and summer. And somebody said, and like, I need to find her name because she's changed my life. I was telling her, I was telling everyone, I was like, I just bought some flowers. And I just feel like everyone should buy flowers all of the time because it brings so much joy and happiness into your home and like truly just adds beauty for the sake of beauty. It's just, flowers, right? Anyway, she commented, she's like, I found out that my local flower farmer does a flower subscription.
Whoa.
Where every week or every 2 weeks, depending on your needs, they'll deliver a bouquet of fresh flowers to your home.
Wow.
You can imagine how I freaked out. And I looked this up. I was like, I wonder if someone around me does that. Like, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Oh my God.
There is a local flower farmer that delivers in this whole region. And I was like, I actually can't believe this is happening to me. And so I gladly subscribed, sent over the money, and I got my first flowers delivered on Friday.
Ooh.
The man knocked on my door. I basically started crying in front of him. I was like, this is beautiful. This is just so beautiful. I love that you guys do this. And he was like,
okay,
totally, ma'am. He was really, really nice, though. He could tell how excited I was, and you could tell that, like, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Like, they love flowers, and the fact that someone who loves flowers is buying them, it was just a beautiful moment, actually. A beautiful moment of commerce. I love it when a business is great. Anyways, it was awesome. And now I've got a flower subscription and I subscribe to every other week. I get a new bouquet of flowers and I'm so excited.
I'm so jealous of that. Like I have tried having flowers in the house a few times and both of my cats eat them. They will not leave them alone. They'll come and like whack them and chew on them. And so it's like, I can't have beautiful things. I'm always scared they're going to knock the vase over. And it's just really depressing, honestly.
Yeah. Max doesn't try to eat any like plants. She has one plant, actually. She has one plant that she chews on, but it's like her plant.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't chew on anything else, though.
What a good
She's
girl.
very polite in that way.
Yeah,
she's like, this is my
she's
plant.
much kinder than my cats. My cats are like, what can I destroy today? Like, let's see what windows can I climb? Willow did that the other day. She loves
That's
to
really
do that.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun though. I think, yeah, I feel really excited. I feel like summer is around the corner and in some ways has begun. Flowers are here. Weather is actually warm enough that a couple of times I've gone out without a jacket. It's not even a light jacket.
I've done that a
no
lot.
jacket.
It feels good.
You know? Feels really good. And I've also, I'm talking about books here, read outside a few times by my brook. If you guys have ever seen my videos, you might know I have a brook that runs behind my house. And I have been sitting in a little chair, I took this little wooden chair and I nestled it into the rocks right next to the brook.
Perfect.
And I've been sitting there and reading a couple of times last week, and it's been so nice. Specifically, I've been reading Anne of Green Gables out there, and it's just so well suited to reading outdoors, you know?
It really is.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other huge news, actually, we should talk about, because we mentioned it last week, Raeleen. The election happened.
Ah, yes.
And it's been a glorious time for old Canada. So pretty excited about everything that's going on. It felt great that a lot of people showed up and voted, like more than usual, which is really nice. It was a very interesting election. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many things that I didn't think could happen happened. So obviously we have a parliamentary system in Canada that's very different than a lot of our listeners who live in the States or in other places. But basically, the person who's running for prime minister is just another member of parliament. They have to get voted in. And two of the leaders of the three main parties didn't get their own seat. They didn't get voted in their own riding. And I was like, I didn't even think that could happen. Like, I know it could happen, but it's never happened in our lifetime. So I was just like, that possibility didn't even occur to me. It was like plot twists left, right, and center. But in the end, we have Mark Carney as our prime minister, and I'm very excited about it. And I feel glad. Because every time he talks, I feel calm. And that's my favorite thing. I just want to feel calm all the time. Kind of like, I think you should be engaged in politics, but part of the reason you vote in a representative is so that you don't have to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? It's so that your representative goes and represents you and your community in parliament. You're not stressed about it all of the time. And I feel that way. I'm like, you know what? I did my thing. I went and I voted. And it was so fun to vote. Oh, guess what, Raeleen? When I was in line to vote, there was like barely a line. There was a few people because I live so rurally. There was no one there. I was in line to vote, and I was so excited. And I was just saying, I was saying to the lady, I was like, I'm so excited. This is awesome. And another lady at another table, like a volunteer, she's like, is this your first time voting? I was like, no, it's like my fifth or something. I'm so excited. And she's like, democracy. I was like, woo! It's not a given. It can be taken away.
Oh,
Super
man.
glad to be here. Yeah, so anyways, it was a fun day, and it was so much fun. Connor made popcorn for us to watch the election results. So we just sat there and watched the election results come in for 3 or 4 hours, ate popcorn, had a great time. It was a fun day.
That's funny. Yeah, it was the day my brother was leaving, the day that the voting day was. And so we had to drag him along. We were like, we just have to go vote really quick. You can just, it was at a school. So there was a little bench. We were like, just sit here for a few minutes. We'll be right back. And luckily there was no line when we got in. But when we were leaving, the people were flooding in. So we went at the right time. And then we just kind of hung out, walked around, and then sent him home. So I didn't have time to watch the results as they were coming in. But
of course,
it was quite the day. Yeah.
That's actually a hilarious thing to be a part of your vacation.
I know. I was
like, watch my sister vote.
Yeah, sorry, you're here. You're just gonna have to come with us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yep, it's an exciting time. What's gonna happen next? I have no idea. But you know what I do know about? I know about books, baby. So let's talk about books. I'm very excited to hear some updates, Raeleen. Shall we shift over and talk about what we finished?
Sure.
All right. How about you kick us off? Because I didn't finish anything this week, actually.
Ooh.
I'm reading too many things at once. So it's one of those situations where I pushed a lot of things forward, but nothing got finished.
That's funny. I can relate to that because the book I finished is not one that I was reading last week or the week before. I started and finished something and just ignored all the other things that I've been reading, which is fun. Good, so what I ended up reading is The Wild Robot. Peter Brown is an American author and illustrator who has published over a dozen children's books. The Wild Robot was published in 2016 and is the first in a trilogy that was completed in 2023. In 2024, The Wild Robot was released as an animated film and features the voices of Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, and Kit Connor. I read this because I was kind of in a reading slump and needed something to rescue me. And I thought reading a kind of middle grade children's book would be the thing to help me. And honestly, I think it has. I think I've been cured, which I'll talk about when I get into what I'm currently reading. But yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm so back. I'm reading. But this book is, well, I guess I'll just tell you what it's about first. So basically it is about a robot named Roz, who she and a bunch of other robots kind of crash land on this island because they were in a big ship that, like, there was in an accident and all the robots kind of got lost at sea, but a few of them washed up on this island. And she was the only one that came out completely undamaged and was like able to live, basically. And so she's like, what do I, but she like got turned on because she was like not activated before being here. She was just in a box and some sea otters found her and like pressed the button on her head that turns her on. So her whole life has been spent like, oh, okay, I live here. What is life all about? And so like this island is her home, even though she doesn't belong here. She's not from here. All of the animals are really scared of her at the beginning because they're like, what is that? Like they think she's a monster and they're just really terrified of her and don't know what to expect from her basically. And so that's how the story starts out. But what the kind of overarching plot of the book is that she finds this egg that's a little goose and his family has died, and so it's just this little egg and she's like, what do I do with this? And another animal's like, well, you have to take care of it. Like you're his mom now. And so it's about
so
her,
the animals can talk? Can the animals talk?
Well, kind of. It's actually interesting the way that she talks to them is that she like adapts and learns their language. So she like each animal has a slightly different way of communicating, and like at the beginning of the book she's like, oh, so this is how the sea otters kind of talk, and like this is how to communicate with them, and this is how the deer talk. So it was actually a really cool kind of system of how the animals talk. Of course in the movie they all just speak English like animals would in a movie, but yeah, it was really cool the way that he did it in the book. So that's pretty much what the whole book is about. It's about her living on this island, but then of course there's some conflict later on when the robot people are trying to find their missing robots, and so there is a bit of tumultuous, scary stuff that happens later on, but most of it is very just like calm and, you know, just the animals and Roz trying to like solve problems together. Like she helps them, they help her, and they make this beautiful kind of like found family situation with her and her little goose, and it's just beautiful. Like it was a really beautiful book. I will say it is very juvenile. Like reading this, it's clearly meant for like maybe not even middle grade. I would say maybe more like elementary level. Like it's quite young in the way it's written, but if like bypassing that, it was a really beautiful book and like a really great story, and I absolutely love the movie. So I would say if you don't want to read like a kid's book, I would just say please watch the movie, because the movie is incredible and I feel like really transcends age, whereas I feel like this book is really kind of locked in as a kid's book. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
If you had a kid, would you give them this book?
100%.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha. And like this book isn't all just like fun and games either. Like there's a lot of death in this book, and like I feel like this book would be a good way to open up that discussion with kids about like what it means to die and like that, you know, what nature is all about and stuff. So yeah, it was a good mixture, I would say, of like real issues.
Would you say that it has any commentary on AI safety and how it's going to destroy us all, or is that not part of it?
It kind of like really skims over that, you know?
Skims over that. Because my first thought was any design with a sentient robot where all it takes to turn it on is one button on the top of its head, disaster for everyone. So,
but the nice thing is that she's like a non-violent robot. She's like absolutely, it's in her code that she can't hurt anything or anyone, even in the slightest way. Like there's some bears that are coming after her at one point, and she's like, I can't even do anything. All I can do is like drop pine cones next to them to like annoy them a little bit. So like it does have some funny really moments cute. Too. Yeah.
Maybe that's the second book. Someone hacks her code and makes her like a killing machine.
There are some mean robots, I will say. There are other robots that are different from her that are not very nice.
Because I know it's a trilogy, right? It's not just one book. Does the movie just cover the first book, or do you know if it's the whole series?
Yeah, the movie pretty perfectly covers the first book, and it leaves it in such a way that like it could be just one movie, but they could totally do the whole trilogy if they wanted to. Because I've looked into kind of like what the next couple of books are about, and I'm like, oh yeah, that could be very exciting and interesting for the people to watch for sure. So we shall see.
That's nice. I'm really glad that you read that, because obviously it's so satisfying to get a book and read it right away. It's a rare delight. I'm glad that you got to do that. That's really cool. Also, obviously, because you love the movie so much, so it's nice that you're a mega fan. You're a Wild Robot mega fan.
I'm obsessed with the Wild Robot.
let you know what I'm currently reading.
Okay.
It will be no surprise because it's all the same things I talked about last week.
Okay.
The first one is Anne's House of Dreams by, I was going to say my Lucy Maud Montgomery. I guess she's other people's as well.
Guess.
I'm like a quarter of the way in now, and I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it.
Uh-oh.
I
Tell me
know.
everything. What's going on?
I'll say basically not very much has happened. And so I think I just need to wait. I think maybe I'm more like 20% of the way through. So I need to just wait be more patient for things to build a little bit. But basically at the beginning of the book, she gets married and it's so exciting. It's so beautiful, but we don't see, it's just fascinating because it's just literally, obviously this book was written over 100 years ago. And the types of, how do I put this? There was this massive shift in the art of novel writing of like an interior story versus an exterior story. Like we didn't use, like most books from the past don't really go into the person's feelings very much. It's
That's
not
true.
a huge part of the story. And that's why a lot of female writers like Jane Austen, like Charlotte Bronte, were seen as like game changing because they're really exploring the emotions of these women. Previously you wouldn't really go into that. But even then you read like these really emotional moments like Lizzie Bennet getting married and she's like, it was a pleasant day and I couldn't wait to see what would come. And you're like, cool. That
Excellent.
doesn't explain it to the depth I would have liked. So there's a little bit of that here. Not so, it's not so bad or anything, but it's just like there's a real sense of if it was written now,
Yeah.
that wedding would have taken up 100 pages.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like 5. It was so short. And I feel like we've built so much up to like get to this wedding. I was like waiting for something massive and it was very nice. And there was definitely some passages that I loved and highlighted and things, but just overall I'm like, God, that was over kind of quick. And now they're just like in their new house. And they're focusing so far more on the new characters that they're meeting in their new town, as opposed to how Anne's feeling about being a wife. And I don't know. I think my expectations are incorrect. So I'm not enjoying it, but I'm just kind of like taking a step back. I'm like, okay, just accept it for what it is. The next thing that I'm reading is Intermezzo by Miss Sally Rooney. I totally fell behind on the buddy read this week because it was quite a busy week. And to be fair, I read more of Anne than I did of Intermezzo, even though I wasn't supposed to.
Oops.
I'm still feeling pretty neutral about it. I'm not hating it. I'm not disliking it really, but I'm not really liking it or loving it or anything. I kind of just feel like I'm, you know, when you go to like the prehistoric part of a museum
Sure.
and you look at like a spearhead and you're like, yeah, that's cool. But you're not going to go to the gift shop and buy a spearhead thing.
Right.
But you don't think it shouldn't be in the museum, but it's just not. It's just there. You respect it, but it's not for you. You're like excited to go to the art section or something. That's how I'm feeling about Intermezzo. I'm like, it's a spearhead. It's important. People like it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll keep going.
Oh man.
The final book that I'm reading is The Complete Persepolis. This is exciting. As you know, I'm reading this because I read part of it during the live show that we did this weekend for our patrons. And I'm on page 58 of like 300-ish. So not that far, but I have begun. And this is very exciting because this really is one of my biggest mashed potato books. And to the term we coined last week, a real Peter Glazebrook. One of the largest potatoes on my shelf. Yeah, there was a debate there
There's
about
a lot of different
whether
words.
there's a lot of different words because somebody on a comment that I pulled called it a Peter potato, and I was like,
Some people are just calling it Peter. People are like, I'm looking for my Peter.
I'm looking for my Peter, and then some people called it my Peter Glaze book, which is also genius, obviously. So there's a lot of terms being floated around. We're gonna have to wait to see the consensus on that one.
New.
But this is just one of the books I've been meaning to read for the longest time. And I know that part of the reason that I've been hesitant to read it is just because I know it's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
It's about a revolution in Iran. And like anytime I would flip through it, I would see really scary things. And I was just like, it's you got to build yourself up for it.
Totally.
But finally, I'm glad that I'm just kind of like, it doesn't matter. There's no perfect time. It's always going to be scary.
Yeah.
So let's just read it. And I'll tell you what. It's horrifying. It's a dark, dark time, dark period of history over there. And it's also very interesting because I don't know that much about the Middle East, of course, because I live in North America. So it's been interesting. A lot of good rabbit holes on Wikipedia.
Ooh,
let me tell
nice.
you. I'm like, okay, what's that? I have no idea. Time to go and look that up. So it's been very educational. And I do think that a graphic novel format is great for that, for like introducing a topic and getting you like intrigued and interested and illustrating some parts of history, but then kind of just opening the gate so that you go and learn even more, which is interesting. I will also say, so far, I don't really like Marjane or Marjan, because this is like a memoir kind of thing of what actually happened to her in her life. And the whole beginning section, she's a little girl and she's unbelievably annoying. I'm finding her very frustrating, but not in like I don't blame her way. She's just like dealing with a lot. There's a lot going on around her, but she's kind of dumb. And I'm just like, it's a kid, get over it. But this is my problem. I always struggle with child characters in books. I always find them frustrating. It's not a perspective I enjoy. So that's another thing that I'm just trying to, I'm like, just accept it.
She will get older, I promise you.
Exactly.
She won't be a kid the whole time.
I'm like, she's going to grow up. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm currently reading. What about you?
Well, as I mentioned, I've kind of cured my reading slump a little bit. And so yesterday, you're not going to believe this, but I read 200 pages of Under the Dome, baby.
That's epic.
I'm now over the halfway point. I was in like the, page 300 and something mark, and now I'm on page 559. And I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. I definitely want to try and put in some good time, like reading time today and in the evenings. Like I haven't been reading in the evenings at all, like previous to this past week. It was just so weird. And so I started doing that with The Wild Robot, and it like was enough to kind of get me back into the rhythm of it. And then yesterday I was just like, man, it's a perfect like cool spring day. I'm just gonna I tried to read outside for a little bit. I like bundled up. I had a blanket and everything, but I was like, nah, it's too cold. And so I went inside and then I blasted through a whole bunch, and I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't say I'm like loving it. It's very Stephen King, you've got a small town and there's lots of people with differing opinions, and some of them are really awful people, and you're just like, oh man, I hate so many of these people, and I kind of hope something bad happens to them, but I don't know if it will. So far, bad things are only happening to good people, and it's just like, Stephen, why are you doing this to me? But I am enjoying it though. It's probably not going to become a favorite of his for me, but I will finish it. And because I realized like this is in itself a mashed potato book, and me like starting it and then not really reading that much of it was like putting it even more onto that mashed potato scale. And so I thought, before I jump into anything like Catch-22, I feel like I need to like knock this potato off my plate. Eat it, if you will. So I'm reading that and enjoying that very much. And I also reading one other book, which is kind of a different take on mashed potato May, which I would also encourage people to do. So I picked up a book that I just bought, but I picked it up because I didn't want it to become a mashed potato. And that book is They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us by Hanif Abdurraqib. So I just hauled this one last week. Yeah. And I had it sitting on my desk with I had a little stack of books that I needed to put away from last week's haul that I just didn't have room for. I had to shuffle some things around. And so I had this little stack, and this was sitting on the top. So every day while I was working, I would look at it and I would think, I think I want to read that. But I was like, no, it's May. It's May 1st, like tomorrow. I can't do that. And I kept trying to talk myself out of it. I was like, you've got to read Catch-22. But then I realized I want to read this so badly that if I don't read it now and if I keep putting it off, it will become one of those huge mashed potato books. And so I just decided to start it, and I am loving it, so I have no regrets at all. So I've read just the first few essays so far, and these are kind of like a mixture of personal essay as well as talking about music and musicians, which is very interesting to me. At first, I thought it was kind of more just specifically about the musicians and things like that, but it is a mixture of personal essay as well. And the author talks a lot about race as well, because he is a Black man living in America, and so he talks a lot about that. And he's also a poet, so the writing is extremely beautiful, and the way that he phrases things is just oh my God, like I feel like I'm going to cry a little bit at the end of each essay because it's so beautifully written and so, like he so beautifully melds together things that like, you're like, how is this going to connect? Like he's talking about Carly Rae Jepsen and then he's talking about something else and you're like, whoa, how is this all going to come together? And it comes together beautifully every single time. Nice. So I'm loving it. And I can already see this becoming a favorite of the year. So I'm happy that I decided to go for it, even though it doesn't technically fit mashed potato May, but this is a preventative potato. I don't know what we would call that, but that's what this is. So I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm feeling on top of the world right now with my reading. Like I just want to read all the time, which is exciting.
That's so awesome.
I feel so back.
I'm really happy for you, Raeleen. I feel like it was kind of interesting because when you read the Hunger Games book, you loved it so much, but then it caused you so much suffering afterwards.
I loved it so much. Reading it hurt me, and finishing it hurt my reading for some reason. It just destroyed me.
Yeah, then it kind of messed up the whole.
It threw me completely off. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. All right. I think neither of us have a haul this week, right?
No, I absolutely like hands off. I didn't go to a bookstore. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any damage, okay? I still have to pick up my copy of Vanishing World. Like, it's at the bookstore waiting for me.
Yes.
But I haven't picked it up yet, so I'll haul it eventually, but I don't know when I'm going to make it down there, you know?
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. Well, let's wrap up this episode by visiting our favorite spot, the mailroom. All right, so here we are in the mailroom. I have pulled some comments from all over. I want to start by looking at some Instagram posts, actually. A couple people shared their hashtag mashed potato May TBRs. Katie shared their little pile. And I say little, Raeleen.
Oh, God.
Katie's ambitious, and I really respect this. There's 4 books in this pile. They're all huge. Donna Tartt's The Little Friend. Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Wow.
IQ 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami.
Oh my God.
And then I don't know this last one. It looks like a biography of some sort. The Woman They Could Not Silence by Kate Moore. One woman, her incredible fight for freedom, and the men who tried to make her disappear. It looks like a huge biography. It sounds great. I can see why these are mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Because they're huge.
Make sense.
They're kind of scary. And then over here, we've got another little TBR pile from Bookthusiast, who says, these are some of the books on my hashtag mashed potato TBR for this month. We've got The Gentleman from Peru by Andre Aciman, Malibu Rising, The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I didn't even know she had a new book out. Yeah. Doesn't even look new. Some paperback. So maybe that's not even new. I don't know.
That's crazy.
The Martian by Andy Weir. And Hellbent, but another Leigh Bardugo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Book Enthusiast wrote, what is a mashed potato book? All of the posts have to explain it because it doesn't make any sense. It's a book you've been saving to read at the right time or when you think you really enjoy it, that you'll really enjoy, which makes you delay picking it up even more until the mashed potatoes have gone cold and you're left wishing you'd eaten them sooner or something like that. ...
That's pretty good.
Which, that's a pretty good explanation of it. All right, then I hopped into the YouTube comments of it all. These are a little mix of mashed potato things. Elise says, in honor of mashed potato May, I have started, Don Quixote.
Whoa.
I'm 200 pages in, and my God, is this thing long. But good news, I'm really enjoying it. Oh, thank God. That's awesome. That's a real mashed potato book right there. Like, I have no interest in reading Don Quixote, but if I did, I know I'd be putting it off.
Oh, for sure.
Daniela says, I think my 2 biggest Peter potatoes are Anna Karenina, which I bought in 2012, and The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, which, by the way, my partner Connor loves, so you should read that one, which is definitely also way over 10 years on my shelf. I'm really hoping I can get to the latter maybe this year. I feel like its time has come, and I could enjoy it very much. I think of some classics like wine or whiskey. You have to leave them alone for a while, right? Not a bad way to look at things, Daniela. And then the other comment I pulled from YouTube was from Alex. I love the bookmarks. This was an incredible plug for our bookmarks, Raeleen.
Ooh.
They say, I've been subbed to the quarterly delivery for over a year now, and they are so beautiful. Unfortunately, a bookmark package never arrived to me, so I'm missing some of the beautiful bookmarks, the reading chair ones. So my collection's incomplete. If you guys happen to have any left over before you sell them out, please let me know. So I have 2 things I wanted to say about that. Number 1, if you ever have an issue with your bookmarks, you can email DFTBA and they will send you the new ones. Like, that's no problem at all. There's part of our budget is to fix problems. So please never hesitate to reach out. But secondly, I know that we have some of the reading chair ones because they were sent to us.
I know, I have some of those in a box in my closet.
Exactly. So let's send some to Alex. Alex T Blue, if you could please reach out to send us an email at booksunboundpodcast@gmail.com. We'll send you some of those bookmarks, but we'll send something else bonus in there. I don't know. We'll add something in there.
Oh yeah, I've got lots of stuff to give.
Hell yeah. You're right. Okay, cool. And then I hopped to Discord because Discord, like I said, that's popping off over there. A lot of good action happening. Lauren said, if A Peter Glazebrook is a book I think I'm going to enjoy but have waited for the right time for the longest, I think for me, it's Stoner by John Williams. It's on every list of, if you enjoyed The Secret History, which is my favorite book, says Lauren, read these books. And I've been searching these lists since first reading The Secret History about 14 years ago.
Wow.
To be fair, so is The Picture of Dorian Gray, and that's on my MPM list. I was like, what the hell is that? Mashed potato man.
I know.
List this year. Can't eat all the potatoes at once or I'll have none left.
That's also a good point. Like, I wonder about mashed potato books. Like, do you want to have some at all times? Like, does it feel good to have them?
No.
I don't know. Maybe it does.
So. I feel like it's like a to-do list. Like, you do want to mark it off. I don't want to just have it for the sake of having it.
I think the reason I like to keep them is because, like, then you always, like, for the ones in particular that you think, like, you know for sure you're going to love them, it's nice knowing that you have that. You know, where it's like,
it's there
that's
for
a book that I'm going to love. But I mean, rereading also exists. I don't know. It's tough.
That's tough. The final comment I pulled is from Zoe, and I will actually share a link to Zoe's comment in the description because Zoe made a mashed potato May bingo card.
Oh my God.
It's 3x3 squares, so a lot easier to accomplish. And I love, these are such cute, like, little challenges. There's only 9, so I'll read them. Go to a mashed potato bookshop. Genius idea.
Love that.
Send a good luck for mashed potato May card to another Patreon member. Obsessed. Eat a Books Unbound favorite potato. Very good. Because
like
we have our list of Books Unbound faves on our website. So you could read one of those if you have one of those as a potato. Go for a swim. I don't know why that's there, but I love it. Totally agree.
I mean, yeah, if you have a hobby that's a mashed potato hobby, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Eat your mashed potato. Donate some rotten potatoes.
We should call them rotten tomatoes, yeah.
I don't know what that means. Donate some rotten potatoes.
Yes, ones that have
like
gone
potatoes.
Stale, ones that you no longer
Oh my God,
read.
like you've given up on them. You don't even want to read them anymore. You've
Yeah.
had them for 14 years, so donate them. Brilliant. Rotten potatoes. That's going in the dictionary term. I haven't heard that one. Eat your Pete-tato. You see? That was a different variation on the Make some potatoes, which I think is a great idea. Like, I think that everyone should have to make mashed potatoes this month, and I will be doing
true.
that.
I made roasted potatoes yesterday like an idiot. I should have mashed them.
And read in the park, which again just sounds like a nice thing to do.
Wow.
So a very lovely bingo card created by one of our listeners. If anyone's interested in doing that, I will link to that down in the description. I think that's really fun. What did you find, Raeleen?
Well, I don't think most of mine were like necessarily mashed potato May related. I just found some funny little comments on our Patreon when the new episodes went up. So this first one is actually from one of our mini episodes, the movie tub or the media tub. Now we talk about all the different media we've been consuming over the past month. And I talked about the movie Mulan, the original Mulan movie, because I watched it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. But this comment from Tina is related to that. So she just says, when I was 14, I had a crush on a boy and I wanted to impress him. So I started to tell him the whole Mulan movie because I knew all the lines. Looking back, I think he was thinking, what the heck is this girl doing / saying? Because he was smiling but looking afraid at the same time. I love that This, just pure middle school energy. Like that's, we've all done that in one way or another. So don't feel alone, Tina, please. I've done that. This next one is from Sandra, which I just thought this was so funny because I don't even remember saying this, but when we were talking about, Sandra just says, the braces and glasses talk made me laugh so hard, and then quotes, I wanted to be corrected, which I'm sure is something I said.
I feel like you said I wanted to be adjusted.
It might have been adjusted. Who knows? Either way, I just wanted to be fixed.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah. Although when I was a kid, like my eyes were fine. I just wanted glasses because I think that they're cool. Like I genuinely think glasses are a really cool accessory. So anyways, this next one from Catherine is about, Catherine's agreeing with me, and the next one, someone's not agreeing with me. So Catherine says, listen, puppets are the worst. I share this phobia with Raeleen. I used to love the Muppets as a kid, because we talked about the Muppets Treasure Island or something last week. That's the context of this. I used to love the Muppets as a kid, and now I can hardly look at them. I was once forced to go to Avenue Q in Madrid, and it felt like actual torture. I can't explain it, really. It just is. I don't really have like that big of a phobia of puppets. I just really don't like them. I just don't like them.
Avenue Q is like, aren't they like really rude puppets? Like that would be a pretty intense.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't even know what Avenue Q is, so... That sounds scary, though. Puppet torture sounds really bad. Okay, then this last one is from Maggie, who says, this may be controversial, but Muppets Christmas Carol is way better than Muppets Treasure Island. Now, I may be biased because Muppets Christmas Carol was one of my first introductions to A Christmas Carol when I was younger, but I just find the acting a lot better than the kid in Treasure Island. Also, Raeleen, how can you hate the Muppets? Next, you're going to say you hate Minions. Well, I hate to break it to you, Maggie, but I think I might dislike the Minions even more than I dislike the Muppets. They're both very different things, but both things that I don't like. You know what I do like? I like all the lemurs from Madagascar. Now those guys are great.
Those are funny guys.
That's more my speed.
I will say that I think that what she's saying is not a hot take. I think everyone agrees that Christmas Carol is the greatest Muppet movie. It definitely is. I brought up Treasure Island because I was talking about Muppets Treasure Island, because I was talking about the book Treasure Island. Christmas Carol is definitely the best Muppet movie, and probably the best Christmas Carol adaptation that's ever been made. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
If I was being forced to watch one of those movies, which would you still choose Treasure Island for me? Or would you pick
No, I would definitely choose A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
But it's May.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't watch it now. I mean, it gives me some time to like get used to the idea. In December, my eyes will be laid upon Muppets, and I'm gonna like it.
And if you don't like it, just never bring it up.
Okay.
Let's just never talk about it again.
Fair.
All right. Thank you guys so much for participating in Mashed Potato May. If you are participating, it's always so much fun, and it's just so jolly, because I was thinking about this when I was looking at the Mashed Potato May hashtag. I was like, if I was trying to make this a successful event, I would not call it Mashed Potato May.
True.
I would not make it, I wouldn't even have called the idea mashed potato. This is terrible SEO, terrible community building in a lot of ways. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not for outsiders, right? It's not like, hey, anyone that reads this, come on board, because it doesn't make sense. It's not intuitive.
No.
But that's kind of why it's so awesome, because it does feel like such a Books Unbound community thing. Exactly. It's just us guys. We're all just doing this, hanging out together. So definitely just pick up a mashed potato book, read it this month. I think you'll enjoy it. And if not, at least it's off the TBR, for God's sake. That's pretty cool. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.